Their emotion doesn't mean as much as mine. I want to specifically talk about this. I had this discernment a while back. I know that no matter what, they're going to keep coming at the president, and you know, with the Russia hoax deal falling through, which if you didn't know that was a hoax.
The time has come when you must admit this is a hoax.
Just don't vote. Just don't get into politics. You don't understand what's going on. If you didn't understand that was a hoax. And then there was the Ukrainian deal where they actually tried to impeach him. That was all for show. And if you don't understand why that didn't work out, then don't vote. You don't understand it. You're not intelligent. You're not intelligent when it comes to politics enough to vote.
Or informed.
I guess informed, but I mean, that's not even it really. But,
Okay.
and I'll explain here in a little bit. Well, then we had this deal with COVID. And that's not necessarily that COVID was designed to destroy the economy, but the reaction
That was an overreaction.
has been to destroy the economy. Well, that's not working out. The economy's doing all right. They got the money to the right people to keep things going. The stock market bounced back up, and it's back up to the record highs. It's the reaction and the fear now. Fear, I think they finally figured out a way, and it's fear.
Terrible thing to live in fear.
Ultimately, what they're going to do with this fear is try to keep people from going to the polls to vote. The actual voting place, checking your mark and putting in the deal, and have people do mail-in ballots. And I called this out a long time ago that they're going to try to do that. And when it comes to this, if there's something that's worth dying for, it's this. But don't let the mail-in ballots, and understand this, there's a difference between mail-in ballots and absentee ballots.
What's that difference now?
Absentee ballots is something that, and it's not the same in every state, but absentee ballot is something you have to seek as a voter. A mail-in ballot just means you live in a condo complex or an apartment complex, and they just send ballots to every single building. With postage already on it, and you just mail it back in. And if you don't think that's going to be wrought with fraud, you are crazy.
Now, my wife and I, voted absentee ballot this past primary.
The
primary. We did that because we both have back problems and did not want to face the possibility of having to stand in line for a length of time. So, for the first time in our adult lives, or first time in our lives, we got an absentee ballot and filled it out and sent it in and thought that's all right.
But the process was rather, a lot to verify.
Yes,
a lot
right.
It's a different process. But when you hear some people talk about mail-in ballots, it's a totally different deal, and don't be snookered by this.
Okay, they don't have to identify themselves?
Who are you people?
I don't know. Certain states do certain different things. It's just a show. And then, voting is a privilege, and it's very, very, very important.
Well, what can be done at all to rectify this problem? Just stop it? Stop absentee, not absentee, but mail-in ballots altogether?
Well, I don't know how it's going to be controlled in certain states. I mean, these are federal elections, so I don't know. But you have, on federal elections, you also have county commissioners and things like that all the way down to local levels on the same ballot. So I don't know who controls all that. I don't know about that.
Okay, and that's something that we were talking about and praying for those in authority over us, is to establish some knowledge, a working relationship with those within our first circle.
Yeah. But the people that count the votes, do you just want to mail your votes in to some place you don't even know and don't even know who's counting them? Or
Who are you people?
The people in my small town, when I go in to vote, I know a lot of the volunteers. Usually it's at a church I used to go to. I trust that. But if we do just a voting mail-in thing, who knows where it's going to go to?
Okay.
When I was talking earlier about people not being smart enough to deal with politics and things like that, I noticed back when Barack Obama was getting popular and becoming a viable candidate that there were people that were getting involved in politics for the first time.
That's for the very first time.
Because he was a very attractive candidate.
Who spoke well.
Who spoke well, who, what was his... it wasn't change, it was... Yeah, what was Barack Obama's motto? Well, it was change. Oh, hope and change, that was it. Hope and change. But people that were coming into it for the first time, and a lot of Christian Republicans were willing to vote for Barack Obama. And I didn't think nothing of it at the time. But not necessarily all of them voted the second time around for him, but I thought it was a neat thing that so many people were getting involved in politics that never necessarily had never voted before were voting. And now I realize that wasn't such a good idea.
I immediately regret this decision.
Because why they were getting into it was emotional. It was an emotional thing. It wasn't because of any hard changes he was going to make or because of how he was going to handle the borders or anything like that. It was because they thought he was cool. And then those same people, when it came time for Donald Trump, thought that a president should be presidential and suave and speak well, and everything should be manufactured, ready to go, a message. It just wasn't real. And then when President Trump come around, and he's as real gets,
I would bomb the out of him.
They thought that it wasn't very good, and I'm disgusted that these people's votes mean as much as mine does.
Okay.
Because they're not as smart when it comes to politics. You're not dealing with smart people that are giving you this emotional reaction to things. And it causes me to get emotional about it. And that's not good.
Okay.
But how can you not get emotional about stuff like that? Their emotion doesn't mean as much as mine.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
That's it.
Okay. I am going to change chairs here for a second.
Yeah.
Because this